Hi, welcome to Practice English 365. I'm Anna, and today we will practice English together. You will listen, repeat, and speak with me just like in a real conversation. Our topic for today is friends. Now, let's get started. I want to tell you about some of my friends. They are not famous people, not heroes in books, just real people who make my life brighter. When I was a child, my first real friend was Sarah. We lived on the same street, only 3 houses apart. Every afternoon after school, I ran to her house and shouted, "Sarah, are you home?" She always came out with a big smile and said, "Yes, let's go play." We played hide and seek, climbed trees, and even tried to bake cookies, though most of the time we burned them. One day, I fell off my bike and scraped my knee. I was crying, but Sarah sat beside me and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you." She cleaned the wound with water, gave me a bandage, and told me a silly joke until I laughed again. That moment taught me that a true friend is someone who stays with you when you're hurt. When I entered high school, I met David. He was tall, funny, and always full of ideas. We studied in the same class, and we often walked home together. On rainy days, we shared one umbrella. David always joked, "This umbrella is too small for me. You're the lucky one staying dry." And I replied, "No, you're the one holding it too high." Those small conversations made us laugh even in the rain. Before one big math test, I was nervous. I whispered to David, "I don't think I can do this." He looked at me seriously and said, "You can. Just breathe. We studied together, remember?" His words gave me confidence, and when we got our results, he high-fived me and shouted, "See, I told you." That encouragement still stays with me. Later, in college, I met Emily. She was quiet at first, but once we became friends, I realized she was one of the kindest people I had ever known. We often sat in the library together. Sometimes we studied, but many times we just shared our thoughts about life. Emily once told me, "You don't have to be perfect, just be yourself." That sentence touched my heart. One winter, I caught a bad cold. I stayed in my dorm, feeling weak and lonely. Suddenly, Emily knocked on my door. She had a bag with soup, medicine, and a little note that said, "Get well soon, my friend." I almost cried. That small act showed me how powerful friendship can be. When I started working, I found friends at the office too. Michael, one of my colleagues, became a close friend. We had to finish a big project together, and we stayed late many nights. At one point, I sighed, "I'm so tired. I can't do this anymore." Michael smiled and replied, "Come on, we're a team. I'll bring us coffee." He did, and we kept going. When the project was finally done, we didn't just celebrate as coworkers, we celebrated as friends. During lunch breaks, Michael often said, "Let's go for a walk." We walked around the block, talked about movies, sports, or our dreams. Those simple walks made stressful days lighter. I also have friends from hobbies. A few years ago, I joined a cooking class. That's where I met Lina. At first, I was nervous because I'm not very good at cooking. My soup tasted too salty, and I said, "This is terrible." Lina tasted it and replied, "It's not bad. It just has a strong personality." We both laughed so hard. From then on, we cooked together, shared recipes, and even made mistakes together. Friendship often begins with laughter. Traveling with friends is one of my favorite things. I went to the mountains with Sarah, David, and Emily one summer. We hiked all day, tired but happy. At night, we built a fire. Emily sang a song, David told a funny story, and Sarah roasted marshmallows. I remember sitting there, looking at their faces in the firelight and thinking, this moment is perfect. The next morning, we woke up early to watch the sunrise. It was cold, but David wrapped his scarf around both of us and said, "Stay warm." We watched the sky change colors, and Sarah whispered, "This is why I love traveling with friends." That trip gave us memories I will never forget. Not all my friends live close to me. Some live far away, even in other countries. I have a friend named Hiroshi in Japan. We met online in a language group. At first, we only said short things like, "Can you hear me?" And the other replied, "Yes, I can hear you." But soon, we talked every week. He told me about Japanese culture, and I shared my daily life with him. One time, when I was feeling down, he sent me a message, "Stay strong. You are not alone." Even across oceans, those words gave me strength. Of course, friendships are not always perfect. I remember a time when I argued with Emily. It was about something small, but we were both stubborn. We didn't talk for a week. Finally, I called her and said, "I'm sorry for being so stubborn." She sighed and said, "I'm sorry too." Then we both laughed. That laughter healed everything. True friendship is not about never fighting, but about always making peace. Friends also support us in hard times. When my grandmother passed away, Sarah traveled hours just to be with me. She didn't say much. She just sat beside me and held my hand. That quiet support meant more than any words. Another time, when David lost his job, he called me. He said, "I feel like I failed." I replied, "No, you didn't fail. This is just one chapter. Something better will come." Weeks later, he found a new job. He told me, Your words helped me keep going. Friends carry each other through storms. When I think about Sarah, David, Emily, Michael, Lina, and Hiroshi, I feel grateful. Each of them gave me moments I will never forget. They remind me that life is not about things. It is about people. Without friends, life would feel empty. With friends, even ordinary days shine with joy. That's it for today's practice. Today, we shared stories about real friends, from childhood to school, from work to hobbies, from travel to online connections. Each story shows how friendship makes life richer and warmer. If you keep practicing like this every day, your English will sound smoother, more natural, and more confident. If you liked today's video, type yes in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be here every day, walking with you on your English journey. See you tomorrow, right here on Practice English 365.